We will call to order the December 18th meeting of the Budget Committee. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
United States of America, to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, can we have roll call starting at this end?
Jill Eldridge.
Karen Quinn.
Lincoln Lavoy.
Charlotte Fife, Donna Danis,
Jim Stevens.
Carol Murray.
Jeffrey Morrison. Robert Kelly.
and our chair, Owen Fred Gray, is an excused absence tonight. We will start, we have public comment. So is there, do either of you want to come forward and have any public comment at this point? Okay, barring that, we will move on to a review of the school budget and warrant articles. Take it away, Sue. We did not receive anything by the, well, I mean, we got it electronically, but not
Yes.
print.
Okay.
Okay.
And Melissa's here with me this evening. So you're gonna, we looked at this last
Excuse me.
night,
Could you just introduce yourself, please?
and Susan Levinson.
Yeah.
Susan, you want me to pass those around?
And we just get a. So this first one coming through is the Excel version. If you wanna do that, that's great, thank you so much. For the default, that's changed slightly following any changes that happened to the proposed budget. And then following that, you have the proposed budget, again, in Excel format. The reason that we're including both at this time is that, as you know, the budget was being prepared in an Excel spreadsheet, and the plan is to move it into Tyler so that people can have the format that they're accustomed to. A little bit more line item detail, and we've been working hard to receive a few more notes. So these are,
So which are we looking at tonight, Sue?
I think tonight we should just drive with the
The default
just
should be
go-
the same as it was, right?
yeah, I would you know, just go with the proposed budget.
This is the ninth draft.
Okay. And so this is the version through Tyler that folks are accustomed to seeing, and still very much a work in process, I would say, Melissa. You concur, I think, around the notes, but it is our preference, and you can let us know your thoughts, to have these items. If you have any extra, we could, I was like, if there's anything
I don't,
to
I'm
the
gonna
end.
just.
Sue, just as you guys are presenting, are we looking at this one or the Tyler one? Or is the
You
Tyler?
could use either one, I would recommend looking at the Tyler
Tyler,
version, because
okay.
that's what you're familiar with.
Okay.
And then you may see a few more notes,
One short,
in the Excel one at this point, as
Okay.
things are.
so one more
pushed over.
copy.
Do we need another copy
Yeah.
of?
Oh, did you? Oh, I mean, we could share if we need to, but they have another one. Yeah.
Can you make C two more?
Here's another one, if you need.
that one.
Nope.
That way you can reference it.
You need another Tyler.
Oh, I forgot
That's the.
Need the Benny Hill music playing while we're passing around.
Do you?
I don't know, I have several.
It's alright.
I have
You need that
several.
one. It's okay.
That's double sided too.
Okay, and we also have the default here in Tyler as well, but I just think rather than confusing the table, you can pick it up later for reference, but let's just leave it here for right now,
Okay.
okay? So this newest iteration does have all of your expenditures above the line. And what we mean by that is the fact that you saw your food service below the line before. There's been a change in the overall budget percent increase from, I think, a nominal amount that was less than 1% to now being a 2.8% 7%. There's roughly a $153,000 delta between the default and the proposed, which I think we feel that's typical, that's not too far a spread.
Lisa, can I just ask one question for clarity for people who might be watching? The above the line and the below the line for the food service, why does that matter to us?
Well, typically what you see, food service is Fund 4, and your general fund is Fund 1. And what you've typically seen and the rest of the town has seen is that all of those funds, both of them, are included, and they'll roll up into your subtotal at the end. Prior iterations of this had your food service below. So it wasn't rolling in and adding into your increases. It is now included.
Okay.
So that is typical with what you've seen in the past. So would you like us to just go by function, or? The biggest changes to this since the last time you've seen it is that we had a special education change of about 75,000.
What's the pleasure of the committee? Do you guys want to go through section by section?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
I'm sorry, are we with the default or with the proposed?
So we're looking, Sue has recommended that we look at proposed Tyler version, which is this one.
I'm more than happy to share the default as well, it just isn't a lot of paper, it's here, for your
That's okay.
reference, but I
Yep.
really think that the proposed is what we want.
Thanks, yep.
So we have asked for a little bit more detail in the notes. And we're hopeful, we are hopeful we will have that for our next version. So right now, the first line that you have is your proposal for salary and teachers. On one of your Excel files, or on your Excel file, you'll see a note that this increase of 2.47% relates to the evergreen clause. And so what really is happening there is every year you go and you look at your CBA, you look at your pay scales, and you make estimates as to who you have right now currently for staff, and you make those adjustments. Because we're in the last year of our contract, it is not known what will happen next year. So there will be a separate warrant article for that. So we have what's called an evergreen clause in our current contract, and that I think is something that very few districts have, but in our case, I think it's actually kind of nice to have it. So even if a contract doesn't pass, they would still be getting, an increase. They'd move along the pay grid. So, because sometimes if contracts don't pass, school districts can get very far behind and the staff suffers. So this 2.47 would be employing that evergreen clause, and then we also have 0.5 in there for an additional teacher. So there's one additional teacher in there. And the reason for that is that we have 2 classrooms right now for grade 5, and the proposal is to move it to 3 as they progress into the middle school in grade 6, so that they can still have the ability to move for science, ELA, and social studies, I believe. So that they moved between the classes, yes?
And
Grade 5.
And the point, it's half a
Yes, it's
person
gonna be
because of the
off,
grant thing.
yes, it'll be offset by a grant.
And that's, so all those plans are still in place.
We did discuss it a little bit last night, because one of the concerns, and we're trying to reflect on everything, is that if we go and we expand like this, that will be good, and the 6th graders will obviously be in 3 classrooms, but it puts more pressure on the building, so there will probably be additional classes that are now out of a classroom, and we have to find some kind of location for them within the building. And at either our next meeting or the one after, but definitely in January, we're going to be talking with Mr. Jobin, who did a walkthrough of the building and trying to hear of some options for just interior on the building to try to accommodate. And we've done this 4 times already. We've taken a maintenance closet, and we've taken the technology room. We took out reading specialist rooms and made a kindergarten classroom. So there have been multiple iterations of going through that school and repurposing space to try to keep kids in classrooms, because that, I think we all agree, is the best situation for them. So that's to be decided or to be discussed in January.
So,
Could I? Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead, go ahead.
Do we know what the cost is for this extra teacher? I asked last time and we weren't sure.
Yes, we did
Grade
ask for
5.
that. He said he thought it would be mid-scale, and that's one of the details that we requested. We also requested, last year, we had 34 full-time teachers in this line, so we think that this is 35. But we'd like the detail on that. And then when you move into special education, I believe we have 6 special education teachers. We also have OT and PT. So total, we have 44, and we just like to have those numbers listed here in the notes so that you have that.
Sure, do you know the do you know the salary? It's in this budget for that extra teacher?
They're in this top line at 50% because
So we don't know the salary. I didn't know if it was a
The,
BA or a master's or we're at step 5 though.
Yeah, I think he said he was gonna put it
So we
into the
don't know.
middle.
yeah, master step 5, but no.
Master step
numerical,
5, okay, so that changes things.
Yep.
Yep.
So it's the master's, not a master's plus 15 or 30 or, I just see the scale here, that's all. I'm just going by this, so I'm just curious.
It's usually just the master step 5, because the 50 and 30 is extra coursework.
Right, if you do extra course, so right here, cause it's
Yeah.
2025,
So
so
then, and
26.
then you'd go this way. But this again is what we're in right now.
Right,
And so that's gonna change, but so roughly I think what they're saying is they have it in right here. So 55.7
okay,
divided by 2.
alright, thank
And we'd like
you.
to have that in the notes.
Hey, Sue, I'm just, so the spreadsheet that Ellen sent out,
Yes.
prep,
Mhm.
I might be confusing it, but it looks to me like the numbers that were in that file that she sent out are different than the numbers that were here and in Tyler.
So we, at our meeting last night, went ahead and used Tyler.
Correct.
We did notice that there were some differences, and it is apparently the preference at this point for the folks doing this to kind of, they're more familiar with their Excel spreadsheet. But my understanding is that this is what we're going with right now.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, so but what was sent out was an Excel spreadsheet, but
Right.
the numbers in that are different than the numbers here.
right.
Okay. Okay.
So we're gonna go
So
with this.
disregard the spreadsheet that she sent
Yeah, I
out.
think you can use it for notes, and that's why we shared it, and that's why they gave it to us, and we had it last night as well.
Okay.
Really, we're trying hard to get some consistency.
Yeah.
We understand the Excel spreadsheet and the ease and the fact that people can share it, from multiple locations, but we'd like to get back into Tyler and we'd like our notes.
Okay.
All right, and then I think the other things that were maybe of note was the salary on the paraprofessionals. That was really different. You had some changes there of 51.06. And we went through this iteration quite heavily last night because last year, if you recall, we had 2 paraprofessionals for general education in that line, so they would have appropriately been there. And they did actually go to the kindergarten classroom, but somehow they feel that they had some preschool paras in there, and that's why they have pushed that to a special education line. So that again is gonna get some refinement.
The numbers will stay around, it's just the rows they're in will be
And
different.
maybe even the explanation, and we were just trying to understand, because when you go back to last year, it's very clear that there were 2 paraprofessionals for kindergarten.
Okay.
And that was done because of the enrollment numbers and wanting to ensure that we had proper, coverage, if you will, for those grades. I don't think there was really anything else of significance in this. The $30,000 intercom system was still in here despite the conversation that we did have, so
Wait,
that will be.
What section is that in? Sue, let's go section by section.
Okay,
Let's
all right.
go,
You don't wanna just hear the highlights, so we'll just.
well, why don't you,
like, let's go functional regular ed, give us the highlights, and then let's give everybody an opportunity to ask
Okay.
questions if they have them.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. Do you wanna grab the first section?
So the highlights, the big differences in the regular ed.
Yeah, for regular ed, there really wasn't a huge difference. So from what we presented last meeting, or what Mr. Corey presented last meeting, it was
Yep.
just figuring out, to your point, the teacher, right, the step or the
Yep.
salary they were at, and then nailing down the exact number of paras. So to Susan's point, it was getting just the exact number. So the appropriate special ed paras are in the special ed line, and this is the regular ed paras. So there was no giant changes to that section.
So does
Yep, I'm sorry.
anybody have any questions on that section?
I do.
Yep.
The tuition anticipated move-ins.
Can you put line? Yeah.
Oh, yes, sorry,
Yeah.
30.
Right.
Are you on page?
No, line
Page
30,
one.
page
She's in
one.
Excel.
That
you're in-
conversation
sorry.
was,
That's okay.
they had like 6,800 or
Yep.
60. So we couldn't understand
is,
why we only
Yeah.
have $6,000 in there
Okay.
because the
Yes.
tuition is
Thank
20,000
you, yes.
plus.
Right.
Yep.
So we requested that
Yeah.
that be increased.
Yeah.
So that will change.
So that's gonna be a change there.
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah.
we requested
And
that
how
increase of
many-
25,000.
Yeah.
Just
So we're just anticipating one move-in.
Well, we have that tuition capital reserve fund as well, which would hopefully cover 2.
Mhm.
So that would give us a total of 3.
3.
We did have the conversation too, that we had 7 or 8 move in last year, so, but not everybody is high school, so.
So, I'm sorry, can I ask a quick question? So it's move-ins, what about move-outs? Would there be a line for move-outs? Cause like, I know my neighbors,
You're right,
and
They offset the
he,
movements.
we try, and
you
that's
know,
one
he
of the
went
reasons we
VLAX
didn't.
and, for 3 years.
Yeah.
So I didn't see, if there's a move-in, there should just be a line for move-out, it should be a negative number, so we know.
Yeah.
I know so another girl's gonna graduate early this year, so I'll be a move-out actually next year though. So,
What
Do you consider that to be net?
Well,
Ins and
that
outs.
is the conversation that we had, because we know we had 7, 8, 9 that moved in last year over the summer. But because of the fact that folks also move out, and I know in budget presentations in the past, maybe even, I think Michael Keister was here at the time. So there was a robust conversation about this, and we did agree to kind of keep a schedule so that people could see what was happening with that, to see the ins and the outs and see how close we came with our
sure,
estimate
where
of
did
the
the money
net.
come from before though? Cause we didn't have this move-in line that we're adding this year, and
Yep.
and in the past, we just passed that to make another capital reserve fund for move-in, I
Right.
guess.
Mhm.
So where did the money come from when people moved in? We didn't have these set,
Right.
was
Well-
it baked in the budget somewhere?
Yeah, so what happens is boards have discretion, line item discretion. So what you'd have to do is you take that for another line, not physically, but you're aware that now you need to curtail activities in some other area.
Okay,
So I think last year it was about $100,000
Mhm.
item to us, and just had to track through the budget, and there are other areas that had to be, you know.
no, I agree with you, cause when we got hit with that healthcare, it was like $170,000. We had to move things around, you know, we had no choice but to pay it.
Right, and we also had an issue with a Dover tuition payment that was not, it seemed like some of the accounting periods maybe had become a little porous, and so that was paid. But they hadn't paid everything completely, so we had some pressures on last year, but again, you can take care of it, you just have to be mindful.
Yeah, definitely.
I think because we have a capital reserve fund, it seems to me that
Right.
this should be 0. And if we need more money in the capital reserve fund, then that's what we should do. But there's a capital reserve fund for this purpose.
But the only problem with that is that if you do not have sufficient fund balance at the end of the year to fund the capital reserve, then it is a little bit riskier proposition. But we can definitely
We
take
have
that.
money
It-
left over
Well,
from
we
this
had it for
past
the
year
past year.
that
to-
we could put in there.
Sure, it's a couple $100,000 every year.
Yeah,
going back
so
to
that's why I'm
2021.
saying, let's not increase this
I have all the
budget.
numbers
We
here.
take that leftover money, put it in the capital reserve
From the
fund.
last year, you can only put in what the warrant article raised and appropriated, you can't change that number, so whatever
Yeah.
the number
Yep.
was, that's all
Right.
that's going
So if
to
we
be.
had like 150 left over, we could put 75 in, only what we had requested.
Had the warrant.
So we will be rolling those capital reserves, that process that was kind of discussed in CIP, and we'll be trying to come up with we will come up with some numbers for those. And we'll take that comment back for our next review.
But for now, that line assumes 3 move-ins, but there's some number work that needs to be done to refine.
That line's supposed to be
It does.
2, and the capital
Yeah.
reserve is an extra one, that's 3, right?
This line,
The other way.
this line is going to
Oh, this line's
This
one?
line
This
is
line would
1.
be 1,
Okay.
and then there's an additional 2.
But it doesn't have enough for one right now, it's only 6,000, that's what I'm saying.
right.
And that's
Let's
why
make it 0.
And so we had asked last night to make it 25,
to be enough.
and then we'd have another 2 in the capital reserve, so that would cover 3. But
Okay.
your comment is that we probably don't need a move-in line, so consider removing that,
Or the capital reserve fund.
in favor of that, okay?
Let's see. There was just of note, so this is backing up from the tuition line that you guys were just looking at. The teacher retirement, that rate is at 19.23%. I don't know if we had talked about that last time, but just to give you a number for New Hampshire retirement.
So that's line 21.
21?
Teacher retirement / teacher.
Yep, that's
we're all
line
looking at the
21.
same-
So that's 19%.
Yep, 19.23, and that'll be set through 2027, I believe.
I think the other item in that section was the workbooks,
Pensions are nice.
line 1100, 564100.
So line 44.
You're looking at the Excel spreadsheet?
Yeah, honestly,
But
Sue,
that's
I gotta-
what this is too difficult
this
for
is-
Penny Tyler,
yeah, honestly,
It's always has been throughout the years.
it has, yes.
And we just struggled with it.
Yes, exactly.
You know?
That's why we're all going,
I like this
spreadsheet is
one, man. This
easier.
is
I do too.
beautiful.
Okay.
It's because of the lines.
Sorry, but it's both, they're actually the same though, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's the same
It's
info.
easier
It's
to
the
read
same,
on the Excel, yeah.
So line 44, classroom workbooks.
The classroom workbooks weren't purchased last year with the purchase of the math program, and it has become clear that that's a necessary item, so those will be utilized and purchased. The Excel spreadsheet. We didn't,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
okay.
so we don't,
So that's okay, yeah.
Okay, anything else you wanna highlight under regular ed?
Were there any questions that you guys had? So backing up, so the tuition for Dover High School and tuition for Co-Brown, once the final numbers are received, we can provide a more accurate number in there, and that's with the anticipated 8th grade, right, to 9th grade.
and those notes will be updated, but right now, I think it's an 11.25% from Dover, and it was roughly $22,000 to Dover, which is the higher amount. And then we have a 4.97% increase for Co-Brown. And I think 91 was the number used in the estimate for Dover. And we typically do a 60-40 split with the population in the 8th grade.
60 Dover, or has it flipped? It's
60
flipped, right?
Dover.
It's flipped, yeah. Okay.
Is there, sorry, I do have one question.
No, go ahead.
So there's no actuals, right, listed on this for the prior year?
I'm sorry?
There's no actuals, right, shown?
If you're looking at Tyler, correct, there's no actuals, but the actuals are in your, that was a point that Danielle made last night for FY 25.
They changed the headings, yeah.
Correct, yeah, but correct. So in Tyler, it's not showing the actuals. In the Excel spreadsheet, they are.
So FY 25 budget is actuals,
So on the spreadsheet, it says budget, it doesn't say
Oh,
actual.
does it? Okay.
so that's actuals.
Okay, so I'm sorry, so can we just go through what these headings are then on the spreadsheet?
Sure.
That'd be helpful.
Let me,
I think they're just budget, cause the numbers are the same. Like, just look at the first line.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
the
there's
same.
no actuals.
There-
listed, right?
No, there's no actuals,
Okay,
it's just
yeah.
budget.
Yeah,
Excel spreadsheet last night. So we don't have the Excel spreadsheet. Okay. And I think I handed out, does anybody have any spares here? Because
Yeah.
Oh, you got an extra?
I don't have an extra, I'm just.
Oh, I think
reading
these,
off the
these
screen.
right here.
Oh, that's fine, we'll grab these.
Got bombarded with all this paper.
Thank you for offering that.
You know, they're all the same or different.
So there's, so line, sorry.
Mhm.
So line 38 on supplies in general just lists an increase due to cost escalation. It's like a 26% increase. Just don't know from what, from the 26 budget, from
Which
actuals.
line are you on again?
I'm sorry, 38, yeah.
Spreadsheet is calculating that
So the
off of the
supplies, general,
twenty-six budget
Okay, off a budget,
for the equation in here, yeah.
okay.
So if you look back at the version 9 that we got before,
yeah,
That one has.
that one had
actuals,
FY 25
yeah, okay.
actuals and the numbers don't match the budget numbers, so this, we now have budget.
so we had talked about, again, we saw this for the first time last night.
Yeah.
We did discuss this. Last night, we had in front of us, obviously, what we had been given prior. This was new, and we didn't even have this handed out to us, so we were looking at this. But I think you could see this one digitally, and that was where we noticed there were differences between, and that was acknowledged. So the next step is to try to clean this up, but our understanding is the numbers here in the Tyler version are the ones that are accurate. That's what we discussed last night, so.
Okay, any other questions from anybody on the committee about regular ed? All right, let's move to the next section.
Next section is special education, that has a 7.6% increase. And this is the result of just a change in an IEP for a new student that will be present next year. So that is the change. Everything else, I believe, is the same, my understanding. There may be a few more changes, but I think Ms. Duncan feels that this is pretty tight at this point on the special education piece, pending any new student needs.
There, Sue, I know we're responsive to student needs as they arise, but is there a season, so to speak, where we tend to receive a lot of this IEP information or?
Right now, I know they're doing their 3-year reviews, and parents can always request that you go ahead and you take these, so I don't know that it's really, something.
So there's no way to know,
No,
this could change literally at any minute.
Anytime,
Right.
yeah, if there's a move-in, if there's a parent request, anytime.
And there could be changes based on the reviews as well. It's really, I think, more sensitive to move-ins or changes in the student's needs, and it's all IEP driven. Really, we don't question it that much, we see generally what's happening. but-
No, I'm not suggesting we question it, I'm just wondering, as they're putting together these numbers, is there a period of time where they're like, we have, 90% confidence in this, or we know all these reviews are coming up in 2 months and that's really gonna change things, or?
I think my sense of it with Ms. Duncan, and she's excellent with this, she feels like she's pretty much got it down right now, and she did express to us last night, we asked her to cover everything that she does, and it really is a very all-encompassing role between charter schools, students with EFAs. These are still the LEA, the local education district's responsibility, so she does everything from court cases to preschool to students up to 22.
Yeah, that was one thing that right, age 3 to 22, and right, if you have like a child that moves out of district or whatever reason, like a foster placement, the district's still responsible for that child, so age 3 to 22 is pretty big.
So Sue, you just said for special ed that the increase was 7 something?
7.6 is what we're seeing in column G on the Excel spreadsheet.
We see
Yes.
6.5.
6.5.
That's why I was just trying to see if
7.6 is in the default budget spreadsheet.
Oh, that's what we've got.
I was just trying to reconcile that with looking at Tyler to see if.
Yeah, me too.
We don't have a spreadsheet.
Oh, I see.
Should be able
Yeah.
to.
Do you- It says both defaults,
You
they
need the-
probably have
It's
the,
just,
do you have the
This is,
budget?
this is the proposed one.
They had both, I had 2 defaults and 2 regulars.
No, I,
Thanks,
I'm,
Jeff.
just trying to follow us.
But what's on
Oh,
your
yeah, it's on
screen
the
isn't
default, yeah.
current either.
when I.
None of it's current.
What Ellen sent is not current.
No. She sent her,
They had 2
she sent
defaults and
it,
2 regular.
she sent it before their meeting.
I wasn't sure which ones they had.
Alright, let's restart.
I know,
Haven't changed it,
it's
yeah.
so frustrating, cause I spent all this time at home highlighting and doing all this, and now the
Yeah.
numbers are.
We're just trying to,
Match things up.
yeah, we're just trying to
Yeah.
match stuff
How about
up.
this, we'll just go with this version, it's cleaner. And then the next time we'll have, I think, just one iteration and then numbers should be.
Yeah.
This makes it easier.
So
for
does
us.
Tyler though show the right percentage increase? Like this shows 6.5 for special ed, but you said it was 7, so does the Tyler printout show that?
Let's take this with. Because as I said last night, we was not supposed to do this, so.
The totals are the same, it's just the percentage that's wrong.
Yeah. Because they're taking maybe numbers from different.
Oh, okay.
They're literally like exactly the same.
What page on the Tyler are you looking
So on
at?
the Tyler review.
The Tyler's the bottom of page 17 is the function
Oh,
total.
thanks.
And
It's
so the
almost there.
numbers are the same, but
The
the
percentage is
difference,
different.
well, 6.94.
6.5, 6.94.
Just for people who don't know who's Tyler.
Who's Tyler? It's
That's the
software.
a
software.
software system.
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
So
This is what you normally look at, years and years and years of looking at this.
You mean, so on the spreadsheet, 6.49 versus like 6.5.
yeah,
If you increase the number of visible decimals, it shows out.
No, it's
No,
No, but it's
6.9.
6.94.
Yeah.
694.
Take out my calculator.
So you can probably go ahead and do the math on that and figure out how they calculated that, but I think they're
It's
probably,
6.93.
my guess is this is.
Tyler is, right?
Thanks.
okay.
This is
Yeah,
just-
the one thing that, you're right, Tyler is what we've looked
It's all the
at.
same numbers, so I don't understand how, no matter what they're calculating.
I know it's Tyler, and so you're probably limited, but if there's any way that you can like highlight or bold or something where the section total is, that would be helpful
Color coding and stuff.
for scanning purposes, yeah. Okay, so we know there's the numbers are the same, the percentage calculation is a little bit different. Anything else in that section you guys wanna highlight?
There's really not a lot of change there.
Okay, any questions from anybody on the
said-
committee?
Sorry, I was looking at the health buyouts, that's all, this is one
Which line are you?
on line 24. Originally, when I asked, probably a week, 2 weeks ago, I'm sorry, if they were all the buyouts, and then I see another buyout in 62, health buyouts,
So that's a special ed one.
yeah.
So in the contracts, there's an option to not take the insurance and receive a stipend for it, so.
Yeah, I was just curious how much it was altogether, in the whole budget, how many people were taking it, and last time it was like 20,000, 19,000. This time it's more than that now, I'm just wondering if it's,
So we can make a
Total.
note asking for the supporting
Sure, thank you.
calculation.
And are other school systems doing the same thing for the buyout?
As far as I know, I mean, everyone is a little bit different, but even in the private sector, you do see that, and
It's going away in the private
yeah, you
sector.
don't see it all in the private, maybe,
don't.
I don't
We
know
are
about
grant-
it, but
But in general, it's been declining over the years.
yeah,
Chester
you either
does
have
it.
insurance or you don't. It's getting unfortunately worse and worse, before we used to have 5 choices, 4 choices, now we're down to 3 choices,
Right.
you know what I mean?
yeah,
That's just-
there's really been a lot of, like,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, health insurance is,
Deductibles are going up through the roof. I'm at 3,800 per person, almost 10 grand out of pocket for family, in network, remember, you have to be in network.
in network, yeah.
If
so
not, it's
very
over
limited.
20,000 out of network, it's crazy.
We did ask for the health trust,
HSAs,
we asked for the sheet to show the new plans and the cost associated with them, so we will have that for our next meeting, but we had requested that last night.
For the town
So these are
budget
things
as
that you
well.
typically see, and we're trying to ensure that you get what you normally see.
Okay, all good on that section,
Yeah.
guys?
Yeah.
Yep, okay. Next is Medicaid admin cost, that looks like it's level funded,
Seems straightforward.
pretty good with that?
Yep.
All right, next section is athletics.
So you've got a 3.7% increase there, and the conversation that we had last night was simply that the rates for the officials had gone up a bit, and that there is actually a plan and a rotation for replacing uniforms. We did have a situation this year where we had a team that needed to have some uniforms replaced, so we want to get ahead of that. So it's noted in here to have that taken care of.
Usually that last couple years, uniforms, don't they turn them back in?
They weren't turning them,
No, I'm saying, usually that lasts a couple years, right?
oh yeah, those
They turn
uniforms
them
should
back in. I
last,
thought it might
should last a
turn
bit,
them
yeah.
in.
Yeah, we don't buy new every year or anything, but you just try to keep a schedule and
What do you
make sure.
think, 4 years, 3 years?
We can ask, I get the sense it's probably 3
curious.
or 4 years at
Yeah.
least.
And it's
It's gonna be
usually,
pretty rough with this stuff,
well,
I
that's
guess.
what, yeah,
Good
I
one,
mean, the
yeah.
athletic director tries to like assess the needs too, right? If he gets them all back and half of them are trash.
Sure.
That
Mhm.
changes, so.
Okay,
Might depend on sport as well,
Yeah,
like some
yeah.
sports go
true,
longer than
like
others.
baseball, the
Yeah.
volleyball,
Or
whatever.
like the track and running ones they use year round,
That's true,
or
yeah.
the whole year.
Yeah, good
More
point.
use.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions, guys?
No.
Go on to summer school.
Yeah, so that number obviously, a decrease in it. We're no longer funding the Summer Institute, which was a decades-long program, but there was not really a lot of interest, so at the recommendation of the building principal, that will not be happening, so.
Questions? All good?
Yep.
Go on to guidance.
Guidance, we have two full-time guidance counselors, one for the middle school, one for the elementary school, and that is up 2.2%.
Nothing's changed since last time.
Nothing really. One of the biggest line there is the dues and fees, but they're small numbers. Just that they can have memberships in some of the guidance groups.
Questions, guys? All right, next we've got nurse and health.
Yep, so that is, that item is for one nurse, and it's fairly straightforward, a 2.7% increase. She has supplies included in that, and one full-time nurse, and you have coverage for when the nurse is absent. in that as well, and then your health insurance.
Questions?
No.
All good?
Yep.
Special contracted services.
So this one is a 2.9%, there were no major changes there, and these are the support of, based on student need. So English as a second language, we have our contracted school psych, and our behavior technicians, and the school psychologist also helps with, over in Dover, at Dover High School and at Co-Brown, so they work across all grades.
It's a 27% increase.
I'm sorry?
It's a 27% increase is what this shows, not 2.9.
Sorry, I was looking at that
Yeah, yeah,
last.
figured that, yeah.
And the biggest piece in that was the school psychologist.
Yeah.
And that is the result of, as it notes there, the federal grant.
And I'm sorry, that's one that works across both.
We have a school psychologist and they work with, obviously with student services, and they do cover all age ranges. So we had a quick conversation around Dover and special education and Co-Brown. The rate at Dover went down because we were paying a tiered process. Now we only pay $500. However, we provide these supports as well, so that has to be taken into consideration.
Most of what the psychologist does is the testing for IEPs, so they're not,
Okay.
it's not counseling services,
Okay.
it's
It's
mostly
evaluating
testing and
students, yeah.
testing and evaluations.
And then, I'm sorry, the behavior tech, that's,
So
Contracted,
we
so
have
one's is-
contracted service for behavior technicians.
one behavior tech and there's one school psychologist.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, guys, any questions on special contracted services?
And they're not obviously employees, they're
Contracted. Speech,
speech has a 12.9% increase. There were no major changes noted last night. There were some changes from prior periods, if you're looking at last year, because there's been a consolidation of some of the costs into certain lines, but other than that, there's really no big change.
questions?
And that's for two speech salaries?
Yeah, I think yes, we do have two. Yep.
All right, thank you.
All good on that one?
Yep.
Contracted OT and PT.
So again, no major changes reflected there, and it's an 11.5% increase. The largest piece of that is the contracted physical therapy, which is a 36.5, and then the supplies for OT at 38.3, and those are noted as an increase in the student enrollment for these services.
Questions?
So, is that for high school or is that for our
It's for-
school?
for our school.
Okay, I didn't realize we had that for therapist.
If an IEP calls for occupational therapy or physical therapy, we have space in the building for it, and then
Okay.
we have to have the services, so we contract for those.
And if a student needs that service at Dover or Code Brown, do these folks go there, or are they covered under those schools?
I thought they had their
I
own.
don't know if these folks go to the high schools, to be honest with you, we can check on that for you, but I do know at the high schools that those services are provided and we have to do that as well.
Okay.
The understanding that we do have though is that if Dover has the role, if they already have the role in-house, they will go ahead and provide the service. If they do not, then we have to pay for it.
Or, including one-to-one para, so if a child needs a para, then we would provide that service.
Right, and that's the same at both high schools. If you have to have that one-to-one para, that's on us. Our teams have to go in, we have to be present at the IEP meetings, even though it's a separate high school and everything. So it's very heavily involved with our student service director. But I will find out, Bob, for you if there's any share in those services.
Oh, okay.
My sense is there's not, but.
I don't think so. I know they have their own Dover.
Okay, other physical and OT therapy? Nothing? No. Okay.
No major changes, no,
Okay.
I thought you were asking for questions.
And then support services. Looks like that's a reduction.
Yep, minus 18.3.
That hasn't changed.
Yeah, that was just, yeah.
Oh,
Small
everybody good?
small salary there and reduction in the insurance.
Improvement of instruction.
So that is 0.6% increase. And this is, as it says, it supports our extended school year programming. We provide stipends and funds to teachers to work on their curriculum over the summer, should they desire to do that. They typically will put together a plan and the curriculum director will work with it, and then we fund that so that we just have work going on all throughout the year and people can hit the ground running in August and September. And then, of course, you've got the health insurance increases there.
Questions? You good? Instruction and curriculum development.
isn't that yeah, okay,
That's the curriculum
that's the,
director.
the director, so you see the salary there. The health insurance rate increase and everything else is relatively the same.
So they're definitely different than guidance then, right? So we have a, okay.
Yeah, so the biggest increase here comes with the 6750 that was proposed, and that is coursework that taken, and so you see that that was 3 and now it's up to 6750. And that is something that we were asking about, just to get some detail around it. We'll have to pull the contract.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna ask about the difference between line 196 and 197, because one is increased based on contract for professional growth. And then the next is workshops and seminar costs associated with the position.
So what's the
So,
difference?
yeah, 186 is the staff coursework per the CBA, and then down to,
So one,
197 and
197, 198,
maybe
yeah.
workshops and professional development. And we have a whole PD program, which we can give you just some basic quick points on that, on the differences.
anybody have any questions? Library,
This is just the librarian and the staff in the library, which consists of a librarian and an aide. And then, of course, the supplies and books and dental and everything. So that,
Susan, when we see a jump like in this health insurance has gone up everywhere, but in some instances it's up 30, this case, 22%. Could that be somebody who's changed from an individual plan to a family plan? And that's reflected here, okay,
Or a buyout to a plan.
okay,
yeah, you could go from single to family or just change your plan to a different
Okay.
level.
so that's already pretty much known,
Yes,
okay.
based on these numbers are based on the current elections.
Okay.
So there won't be an open enrollment, I don't think, next year, so this is based on that. So there will be movement in this.
Okay,
Quick question on, so like, there's no increase in salary or for the librarian or the aide at all, but there are like
Yeah,
pretty much
we
everywhere
asked
else.
about that, we definitely asked about that, and so we'll be getting an answer.
Are they covered by the same contract
They
as?
are in the CBA.
Yeah.
So
so we would expect that to go up.
I would expect that to go up, yes. I'm just gonna quickly check this one to see if that was reflected.
Unless they're maxed out on the scale and then they wouldn't go.
Oh,
Here we go. Because we
But I don't-
mentioned that a couple,
No, in the library, I don't think she was me.
I'm sorry, Carol.
I was saying, if they're maxed out, it wouldn't go up, but I don't think the current library.
No, I don't think we're at that step.
Is the library aide part-time or full-time?
Library aide is full-time, it's paraprofessional.
all right, anything else on library?
No.
Computer aided instruction, I'm sorry, computer assisted instruction?
It's up 7.2%. That's again is your technology director. We have a webmaster stipend in there. And then all the dental, FICA and so forth, and retirement. We also have computer repair and maintenance in there with a small increase. And then the supplies and your internet access and so forth, but there weren't any major changes there. What you're seeing, the big change in is the 54.4% for the security upgrade and monitoring, and we did ask for some detail on that, like is it a new, we wanna understand exactly what that is. Typically, you see notes that tell you what the software programs are.
Line 234 too, that software is up 23%.
Yep.
So that would be good to know what that is
Right, so
for.
that is likely Alma, and it would be interesting to know why, if we've added different modules or whatever to that.
What is Alma?
Alma is the system that the school uses for student student interface, parent interface, messaging.
Oh,
Right.
great, yeah.
And it also can send data to the state. This is it's the system that the state employs to take data back and forth from districts. So that could be maybe an additional module around that. So we definitely should find out.
Curious as to why that's under computer assisted instruction if it's used as a communication tool.
And data.
I think it's mostly
like-
grading. It,
Oh,
it does send communications, but it also has all of the schedules and grading. and everything.
It's multi.
It's got all the student data in it, so when you register your student and everything, it's all.
You actually register.
The social type stuff they send under various other
Okay.
stuff.
Okay. Anybody, questions in that section, computer assisted instruction? Okay, school board,
0.3% increase. The 2.9% dues and fees in school board, that would be New Hampshire School Boards Association. We use them for policy development. And we also get legislative reviews, workshops, and so forth. So I actually would like to just see that breakdown as well, the cost. So we should probably check into that. And then we do get a small stipend. What is that stipend now, 3? Can't remember. And we have the $5,000 in there for strategic planning, that we do want to begin that process, and that would be primarily for communication to the community.
questions? District secretary and clerk services.
Yep, so these are the school board secretary for the minutes. The school district clerk is an elected role to work at deliberative and so forth and help with the ballots, work on the ballots. And that's that.
Sorry, who is that right now?
She was just elected last year and I don't have her, I can't recall her name right now, but I'll get
Okay.
it for you.
It's not Lori filling both roles.
No,
No.
I should remember that, but I just don't.
Sorry.
This is
Whoever
her
you are.
first year, she was just elected, so.
All right, everybody good on district secretary and clerk? Treasurer services?
Also elected, and there's the stipend for that work.
Audit services?
So that is the audit, the annual audit that we have.
So that's every other year?
Nope,
It's annual.
that's our annual audit. So we have CPAs that come in and do an annual audit of the books. That's line 258.
So,
The Gatsby one is.
The GASB is every other year,
Oh,
yeah, so
okay.
that's the work they do so that
Yeah.
you can
Okay.
book
Okay,
the
alright.
liability.
So
okay,
it's a financial audit every year. and
Yep.
like
Gotcha.
other
got it. Okay, questions, anyone?
Is the audit ongoing
The audit will,
last year?
the audit will begin this year at the end of this month.
Yeah.
And it should probably take a couple of months and then we'll be closed up for the June 30th, 2025 period.
Wondering about last year's audit.
Yeah, last year's.
Legal services?
That's the attorney. 4.6%, which is a $1,500 increase.
Questions?
We use, I don't think we have a contract next year, but we do, we have their assistance with contracts and various other matters.
SAU?
So the SAU obviously is just the superintendent. Student Services Director, this is a little bit different, because I think we used to, well, whatever. We used to have the Student Service Director sitting, I think, I don't know, it's all right. Well, right now, we have this booked at 65% for the superintendent. And so
Sorry.
we had a full-time superintendent, and we went to a part-time at 65% time, so that was the
That's the decrease.
105. Right. Is what's proposed. I think that might have been different between what's here too. And then you have, you know, cell phones, the electrical costs over at 130 Stage Road, postage, advertising, travel for these parties to go to conferences and so forth. And the equipment lease is, you know, the copy machines and so forth. And there you see the district software, so that is Tyler on line 293.
We don't like Tyler.
I don't like Tyler
That's
either.
expensive for
I like
software.
this.
Susan, you told us it has a lot of functionality, is that right? Some of it which hasn't been
Well,
tapped into yet?
Yeah, it's very tapped in across the state. It's the software that most school districts use. It's an accounting software. It has, we purchased 5 modules. It has HR, it has payroll, so all our payroll comes out of it. And it does budget.
QuickBooks does that too.
Well, maybe not.
Now you have to get ADP.
This has to have the.
It has to have
What happens, you know, I'm not, I hear you.
I know, I'm just saying,
Oh,
I
Bob.
I might do this much, but maybe you only need this much, that's what I'm saying.
We went through this,
We did the demos of all.
yeah, for the transition committee. And one of the big sticky wickets is you have to have that interface into the New Hampshire retirement system
Oh,
for your payroll and everything, and that's not something that every one of these software systems have. Yeah,
That is true, because most people don't have a pension anymore, so I have to
There you
agree,
go.
I have to agree with you there, right?
and I agree with you, that pensions are a real gift.
They're-
Do
they
you
are
guys,
really
do you want me to
good.
note the date there, or?
And our prior data was coming from Tyler, so we would have had to convert, we
Right.
would have to pay for the conversion to go from, it was in Tyler before to
So it was
a new
pretty
system.
cost effective for us to just move our data, because we were using Tyler, it was already in there en masse, and we were able to move it.
That's fine, I'm just saying, maybe it's because, you know what they say, and I do it, every 4 or 5 years you shop insurance,
One
like
thing.
car insurance and stuff, you throw it out there, and I've saved over the years, better coverage, like, cause they just keep going up and up and up, unless, and it'll keep going up unless you say something.
Tyler can handle, we actually played pretty hard with Tyler on that conversion and everything at the time. Remember that, Carol? We kind of pushed hard and got a pretty good cost-effective conversion. But the other thing is that, you know, in some cases, in towns, you'll have your school district and your town on it. So you could be cutting your payroll out of Tyler.
Makes
It would be
sense.
the same as when we were with Stratford and Northwood, there were 3 distinct districts in one big system, and that's why we were able to grab our data and move with it.
Hey, Sue,
Is
can,
it a hosted, like, cloud type, like we pay them to take care of and run it?
Yeah, they're handling
Okay.
that.
Cause there's a little, it's worth some of that for them to take the data security thing if
Yeah.
all your HR is in that.
Yes.
And your payroll and everybody's SSN numbers and stuff like that, that becomes their problem for a data breach versus if you go to QuickBooks and we run it.
so do you have, and again, we're getting hung up on Tyler, we should move on, but do you have different output formats? So like, can you take what's in Tyler and output it into
Make it nicer for us?
Excel spreadsheet.
Because we do not like Tyler.
What's that?
You like the lines, you
Yeah, we like the
Yeah.
lines.
So can I ask you what you got last year from Tyler you did not like?
Well,
The biggest
to
thing
to
for us
Robert's
are the
point, we've had it
notes.
for years, we just, we
I
dealt
don't
with
know if
it.
I have an
It's
example.
easier to just read the line number than
Yes.
the function number on Tyler, it's like just.
Yeah, I mean, we've always dealt with it,
So we
Sue.
can go with Excel, then what we can do is just have this, I really think it's important though, if you're gonna spend $31,000, that we should have the
Well, you
data
should
in
only
the
have to have
system.
one
Yeah,
system,
right,
it shouldn't be
right.
redundant, so that was
Yeah.
my question
But we're
was,
just wondering if you can,
can you
change
output
the
from
format.
Tyler in
To-
in a more user-friendly
export
format,
it to-
is whatever it is.
I think
Most of
what-
those things are gonna let you actually define a report and then just create the
Right.
report the way you wanna look.
Yeah.
It's just somebody's gotta do the wrench time to build the
Exactly,
reporting
exactly.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah.
I don't want, I
Sorry.
don't want access to or touching that system though.
Did someone wanna make a motion?
Yes, sir. So it was a prudent decision to use Tyler, even though we don't like Tyler.
Exactly.
As a budget
Well, you-
committee.
No, it's not that you don't like Tyler.
You
it's
don't
just
like
something
that.
to
We
build
don't
a
like
report.
this format.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I
For
think
that.
what's
Alright.
happened is there's a preference to use an Excel spreadsheet.
It's just a
This is
readability
an
thing.
internal matter,
It's
I
just a
think, at this school district. Right.
readability thing,
So we see that this is clean and easy. This doesn't look the way it should.
just a better format
Yeah,
out of Tyler.
It's a preference for a format, not a, or like a
Yes.
layout of the report, not what tool is being used to make said
Correct.
report.
So we could learn
Okay.
to love.
So I think.
Let's move on, let's
Yeah,
go to
But just to
principal.
kind of close
Okay,
with that, what
one
happened
question,
was,
please.
they wanted, we used to do it all in Tyler. And then we could format, and we made changes so we could take more characters and give more notes. It looks like this is kind of, we're getting back into a learning curve to try to get the reports doing what we wanna do. But the situation is that it was done in Excel, and then the Excel was
Sure.
exported into Tyler.
Sure.
And so now we're living with
Got it.
the,
So you have to
Okay.
be patient. I get it.
Robert, you have something?
Oh, just real quick, please. What does a student service director do? I know you got guidance, you got curriculum and,
the student services director,
Line is that?
I'm sorry, 265.
yeah, that person, I would say, is probably one of the most important people that we
Oh,
have.
all right.
I would say they have probably more knowledge about the legal requirements for students than anybody, including us, even a superintendent probably. They work with all the systems, with all the kids, they work with the courts, they work with every single out-of-district school that we have, all of our high schools, ages 3 to 22. Homeless, they work with homeless, so they have to do all of it, and they have to do it within the context of the law, so they're very, very knowledgeable about the laws that are complex around student needs.
Don't we have a attorney, I thought I saw?
We have Catherine Duncan,
Okay,
who,
The
we got-
Director of Student Services.
Director of Student Services, she really is phenomenal,
So all the case managers for special ed report into Catherine, and she oversees.
and even the
all of
paraprofessionals that are providing some of the,
She's this one,
helping in
265.
the special ed area.
okay.
So she has direct reports, and then she has all that outside stuff that she has to work as well. They're present at all those IEP meetings, so it's a complex
Okay.
area.
I was just curious, I wasn't sure.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
principal's office.
You wanna grab this one? It's all right. I just didn't wanna,
No, I'm keeping
Okay.
up in both right now.
okay. Thank you, that's the best thing to do. 3% in the principal's office. This includes, obviously, the principal, these things, the principal's himself is not part of any CBA or anything, so we have individual contracts for these individuals, and then you have your secretaries and everything that has to go into the office, the copiers, any travel, so you see pretty much the same stuff. The biggest increase here is the 33.3%, which is a course reimbursement of 13.5. And I think that one we had some questions on last night. It may be that that's the Granite State Leadership Academy, which helps develop superintendents. And one of the things that we wanted to do as an independent district, a Nottingham
Andy
school
did tell us
district,
that, yeah.
Yeah. we really want to have, the beauty of being an independent school district is that you can now have curriculum development. You can now, all the things that we had to do ourselves, but we were still paying a percentage somewhere else. Now, all these people with expertise are closer to the kids, and that's the most important thing. So, with the superintendency, we know we're transitioning. We wanted to be able to develop the people internally so they have a career path, they're close to the students, they know what's happening there. And we get consistency for the staff and consistency for the kids, and we think that's what makes, really what has made the difference for us as a district, that we're close touch to the students, and that's important. So this is probably the Granite State Leadership Academy, it develops superintendents, it's a 3-year program. We had some questions on it last night, so we can detail that for you better next time. Does that cover what we talked to?
Absolutely.
Questions on this section?
No. Okay, let's go to business financial services.
So, right now, this is where you would end up, I think. Yeah. these are, this one has got 0% increase and things have kind of pushed around in it, but, you've got the consultant in there right now. So we have a gentleman that has been coming in for, I don't know, 2 years now, 3 years. He's a CPA and he does a lot of work. He did our MS filings for the state. He did the close of our books. When the auditors come in and give us the adjusting journal entries, he books those entries. So that's what that's all about. And then we have just cell phones and travel. You know, we have to pay travel expenses, mileage going from 130 Stage Road to 245 Stage Road. So those are those kinds of things. And then you also have your travel to conferences and workshops and the like.
No, and does that include enough for, before you covered going to a full-time, is that the business administrator? Is that
We have another line for that. I think it was up around, yeah, it's right down here on 346. So
Yeah,
that's
so-
budgeted at 114,736.
And that's different than the,
We have, yeah, the
Keeper.
CPA consultant has been coming in for several years. He's kind of a mentorship and for anybody that might have to have questions. He also works in another town south of here as the business administrator for the town as well as being the town manager. So he works in several districts. He came recommended from the auditors to just help do some of the higher level stuff. So that's different from the BA.
okay.
And as the BA develops and depending upon who we get, that may not be needed.
Questions on that section? Bookkeeper? We just kind of talked about that.
Yep, so we have a bookkeeper, right now, AP and payroll.
So that position's filled.
That position is filled. Yep.
Supervising fiscal services.
So this one is a 4.2% increase. And I'm not gonna look at this one. So, yeah, so this is the, I've got the
That's
BA in
It's
it.
admin.
Yeah. Yep. So that's a new name on that 2511, which is what, we got a lot of little, you get used to things and it's like, what do you? So this is the BA and all the costs. And the NASBO, New Hampshire NASBO, it's NHASBO. They're similar to the School Boards Association, but for business administrators, you can get training there. They have a 17-course program to develop business administrators. They help with the MS filings and they're pretty helpful. So that's included.
Okay, operation and maintenance of plant.
4.5% increase, and this is your facilities director and our custodial staff. We are, it says hiring additional, but I'm not sure if that was a replacement. But
That's what I was looking
So they were
for,
down,
because
they were down one, is what they said
that
last
they were
time.
down one, but not hiring an additional one, and,
Replacement.
okay, but
But it's a
why
20% increase.
20% increase?
we went through on line 355, and we will bring in the details. There was a sense that there were some changes in the pay structure, so we'll bring those details to you. Yeah, so these are just really the things that they plan to. Oh, we asked about the failed mini splits too, because we don't think we have any failed mini splits, and no one was understanding of that, but we did talk about what that, I made notes on that. What that included. Yeah. You'd think I really remember that, it's just last night, but whatever. But as far as we know, there's no failed mini splits.
The last time for the school budget too, we were talking about there was a water heater that was in the budget, but it was already done. Stuff like that, just wanted to see if that got,
The water heater, my recollection of the water heater is that there was a sense that it should have been included in the work that was done out of the 325. It went to the warrant article.
Yep.
That work was done last year.
Right, and it was gonna come out of the budget.
Yeah, and it didn't, that
Right.
water heater wasn't done at that time, so I believe it's being done this month.
Yeah, over Christmas break.
Yeah, and it will, and we're gonna go back to the capital reserve fund that was funded by the 325 for that work, cause it should have been. Yeah, that's my understanding.
Yeah, it's like, what, 30,000, right, for the one in the kitchen?
Yeah,
I think this was just a water heater in general for the whole HVAC system.
Oh.
There is some kitchen work that's being
Okay.
scheduled as well right now. And it's happening over the break.
Okay.
On line, 372, the vendor cost for maintenance contracts. Are those existing contracts that are renewed and increasing, or is that additional maintenance contracts?
I think we asked for some clarification on that. The board agreed to a contract with E&E Systems last year to come in, and we have always had a vendor that comes in to maintain our systems and will also come in and give us preferred response times if we have a problem. And so we had a new contract that came out last year.
Correct.
And I would like to see, personally, we'd like to see the breakdown of that 57,421, why the $25,000 jump, if it's multiple contracts or if it's just that E&E jumping or.
When we asked about it last time, Mr. Ulrich did speak to that it also included the Mark Jobin fee, and he's the consulting. Also, this is the software in here that we talked about with Mr. Brown, so that is something that we're discussing at the board table as well. It's an asset management software program at $5,100, I think was the total. So that was something that the facilities director had requested in order to track and maintain all the contracts. I think the things that are important to warranties, stuff like that.
So we would be curious to know what that
Warranties.
system is and what exactly that it does.
the other one I
Get
would,
one for the town.
Those
mean,
are particularly helpful if you have multiple buildings, so we're just really trying to understand the scale.
Yeah.
yeah, or facilities that have a whole bunch of moving parts, which
Right.
a school building does, between
And the
ceilings
other
and mini
thing
splits
too
and
is
everything,
when you
but.
have people moving in and out of positions, right? So there is some continuity, so things aren't getting lost, so just.
Could we get some more details on the decrease in the repairs and maintenance building or to,
Which line is that again? I'm sorry.
it's 375, just where,
Minus 100%, minus 275%.
yeah,
Okay,
just
so-
what, I'm imagining some of that, I think it might be the water heater that was
I
coming
think-
out, but
Yeah, I believe that this is the line that last year we had a little bit extra in because we had so many surprises last year. Despite having a well-maintained system,
Yeah.
we just, you don't know where those little sludge plugs were gonna end up next. So we had put in some additional money, and I think that's what you're seeing not having to be there.
It was an
But we'll
extra cushion
clarify.
last year.
Yeah, we put more in for just potential additional expenditures that might arise.
so since we did the warrant article for all the big swab out maintenance thing, then this can go down as kind of the,
Yeah, because that was, the warrant article was specific to repairs.
that was the
and-
HVAC repair, but.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, but we didn't know if there could be some electrical issues, coming up, or if we had, we wanted to ensure that we just had enough. And so you're seeing that, I think, flowing out.
Everybody good with that one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Ground services,
This is a contract for the landscaping. And when I say landscaping, it's, maintaining the
Mowing.
fields and the mowing and
Yep.
come in on a regular basis.
Not topiary. Not topiary.
Yeah, I like, additionally, we choose a lot of
There's actually
beautiful.
some volunteers, right, who put flowers and.
We used to have that, yeah.
So wait, this includes mowing?
I'm sorry?
Mowing is included? Mowing?
Yeah, like mowing the grass.
Yeah. But does that include, it doesn't include the field in the back?
They do
The very
actually
one
do-
out on the soccer field?
Yeah,
I think that is, we can clarify,
okay,
but they definitely come in and
okay,
do
yeah, okay,
that work.
yeah. I was looking
And
at
we,
the wrong
and we
number.
cleared up an area, if you recall, so we expanded a lot of grass space, right off the playground, so that also has to be managed.
All right, questions on that section? Regular ed transportation.
Okay, elementary transportation, that's our contract with, well, actually, special education.
Looks like it's straight across the board, 3.8
Look here.
Yep.
for high school and
Yeah, so
elementary.
elementary transport, our transports to Dover and Co-Brown. And they're saying they're having contractual increases there.
Now, so do you know when the contract ends? Didn't we sign like a 5-year or
I
something?
think it's next year that we negotiate
Next year's the
that.
last year.
Next year, right? Cause you worked that one.
Yeah.
Special ed, oops, sorry.
I was gonna say, they let us lock in a lower increase per year by doing a 5-year.
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
year.
That's the theory, yep.
Special ed transportation,
Special education is just that, it's transportation that we have a 17.9% increase in, it's reflective of student needs. So it's any out of district, transporting students.
And then also if there's busing for preschool, that would be part of that.
Yeah, for those that need it, and that part of it had come down because we had brought preschool in locally instead of having to travel to Northwood, but.
Yep.
But they do tell us that our needs are becoming more complex.
athletics, nothing there.
Yep, so that was the bus that we used to have. To take kids to and we would like to do that, but I don't believe we have a driver for it. So it's something that we are interested in doing, but we have not had the ability to do it because of driver shortages.
So for every sport, parents are getting their kids.
Yes,
So like, my personal experience was, obviously track. So every parent picks up the kid after school and brings them to the track meet.
They
Or they
carpool.
carpool home.
Yeah, well,
right?
yeah.
But yeah,
God
yeah,
forbid
it's
you have
their
more than one
responsibility.
kid. Yeah, you got,
Right, you got a kid in track and a kid in soccer. Okay,
so, yeah, that was something I thought was great, that you could do that, but we can't, we just don't, and we're still down a driver. Our first priority would be to reinstate the driver for the Dover.
And you're still down?
Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
field trip transportation,
Field trip transportation, 3.8% increase, it's just the, let's say the word inflation, but anyway, it's just the normal increase.
yeah.
And we obviously pay for our transports to our field trips.
Homeless
This
transportation,
is up 50.5 based on student need, and that is just as, that is that. These are McKinney-Vento type requirements and.
Yep.
This line is I think a new line, and it just reflects, we had talked about before budgeting for this, and I think we had not wanted to add in to the budget for it at that time, but
you're still
whatever, it
talking
has
about,
nothing in it. But the bottom line is the food service is Fund 4, and everything else is Fund 1. And so by law, we have to ensure that we cover food service. So if it does not have a profit, we take that at the end of the year out of the general fund. So this budget will have a payment to make to cover any shortages in food service.
oh, so that covers shortages.
And there have been shortages.
We almost
forever,
always,
right?
over the
Yeah.
years, I think it's been as high as 25, back a
I
decade.
think that's
ago.
true everywhere, yeah.
Well, yeah, but even, that, but also just the cost of the food versus the cost that we charge for the food. And there's a sense and a pressure on us to continue to increase the cost to students. And we'll see what the board does in the future, but I think personally, that's not something
I
that,
like
you know,
that. Yeah. Yeah.
you wanna make sure that kids can eat,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
So sometimes our prices are very typical, taken into consideration with the rest of the area. But it has been proposed to us to raise this sufficient to make sure we have a profit, that we should at least come net neutral in our food service, so we don't have to cover it out of this, but, you know, that's a.
So this food service budget doesn't reflect the offsetting revenue. This is all expense.
You mean the
Right, and you'll see the
421?
revenue, so you raise and
Yeah.
appropriate here, and then you have your offset, and then you,
That's why they put it below the line, is because
yeah,
Because
it's
it was
back up
offset
in now.
substantially offset by revenue.
Yeah.
Susan, kids that need food get food assistance, right?
They
That's
should be able to do
subsidized.
that, yep.
Yeah.
So I can see why parents are saying we want it to be neutral.
Well, no, parents aren't
Big
doing
difference.
that, saying that.
There's also so
Have to pay
that
more.
All right, people are saying
to have
prices should
meals-
go up to
We don't have
reflect,
kids, I see.
to
right,
have
Yeah,
meals-
right,
right.
To have meals subsidized, a parent has to apply in order to receive that.
Sometimes a
So-
barrier in itself, yeah.
it's Oftentimes, sometimes they don't, you know, so
It's
there's.
based on your income probably.
Exactly, yep, and not all people that even meet the income requirements apply for it, so bottom line, I think, are in the food service department, a child would never go without a meal if, whether they could afford it or not, you know, if they didn't have a meal for the day, they would always receive one. But in order to get the subsidized, they have to apply for it.
Does anybody from the school try to help them through that
Absolutely.
process?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
We recently met to Health and Wellness Committee to try to create or figure out more creative ways to get that information out to people, knowing that it's like rolling open enrollment, the enrollment affects like funding back to the school, all that kind of stuff, so we're looking into.
Is
Right, if they like the food too.
is some of that
You know.
subsidy, does some of that subsidy come from like state too, or whatever, or is it like the school is footing the subsidy cost? Like-
the
That's,
state.
it's federal, I think it's federal.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
Right,
USDA,
okay, so it's
yeah.
like that, so it's, they apply and then there's the covering the food to back to you, so it just all, it
It's
all, at
not-
the end of the
it's
day,
not
it rolls
subsidized through
into
the
like
school.
the,
And it's highly confidential as well, so.
right, but I mean, it shouldn't be a question of like another parent being like, oh, my thing is subsidizing somebody else's lunch,
Correct,
like this is
absolutely.
coming
Good
from
point.
much different organization.
Absolutely.
It's
Not
just
an-
making
it's not
sure
an
that
Italian.
a
You're
kid
You're not
gets something
paying
to
for
eat.
somebody else's child.
Right.
No.
But the other part of this is just, you know, food service as a business, if you will, in inflationary times, which most times are somewhat inflationary, costs very rarely go the other way.
Right.
So, you have your cost to deliver food, so,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and our lunch prices may not always cover that. And we do try to keep them affordable.
Okay, does anybody have any questions, any additional questions on food service?
Okay, that brings us to the grand total.
Which is at 2.4% increase.
So on the Tyler report, it's 2.57 if you count
Okay.
the food service, but some of that's offset by revenue, so it's not a real, 2.4 is probably a better.
Ignoring
point
Tyler,
there.
It's a new format.
So-
I'm happy to see that food service is here now, though, because
Yeah.
you have to raise and appropriate for the
Sure.
expenditures, so.
Yeah, one of the things that the town did though was you showed a sheet of the calculation of the budget, but then showed the revenue offset.
Yes,
For that.
yes, which is very helpful.
Yeah.
By each line
Yeah,
item, yeah,
yeah,
it's very helpful.
exactly. All right,
We're scrambling everywhere.
everybody good on the operating budget,
Yes.
okay?
Definitely went up since revision 9. Last time we talked, it was 1.32.
Yeah.
Which
But it-
was
But- right, but it-
realistically low,
that
yeah.
Yeah, nobody
Well, he-
believed
he said-
that.
He said that was
Crazy.
arbitrarily low, that also doesn't
Yeah.
cover the CBA stuff too yet,
Yeah.
just as the full reminder to
That's right.
everybody, don't
That's
forget
right.
that piece.
Yeah, there's still
That's
ins
right.
and outs coming, it sounds like, and that's the only question I had, is there do you have any idea on what that's looking like? Whatever else, what the other
Warrants, that kind of stuff.
few items that came through here,
Yes, you have an idea.
I'm sorry, I was just staring at it.
This is enrollment, but there are more
Oh,
that
copies
was
over
all.
there. Okay.
That's just the enrollment.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I meant in line items in the budget, it sounded like,
Yep, I would love to hear.
Okay.
you think this is moving off of this, or do you think? it's-
Exactly.
The only thing, like you had mentioned, was warrant stuff now, so, yeah.
I think now that we've seen notes ourselves, it gives us the ability to kind of think about this a little bit more, and I do think there may potentially be some requests for.
It is one of the challenges with the schedule of, we've got this schedule that we're marching towards, and you guys are in an unfortunate position of getting information like the night, because you meet on Wednesdays, you're getting that information like the night before we meet. So it is understandable that there's some questions still.
Yeah, but even for us, without having notes.
Right.
We're trying to,
Yeah,
understand.
I think it was really
everything.
helpful, thank you for going line through line, because I think it did help clarify what's
Yeah.
missing and what we need.
Yeah,
So-
sorry for our, our start, but.
So do we have warrant articles now?
We just have a quick list for you.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and share that with you. And we have some questions that we'd like to have more thoughts on, if possible, around our warrant articles. The next one, let me-
There's gonna be enough of these, but I'll type it right now and pass it on. Here, you can have
I have an
this one, just keep it there for a second.
I'll try,
Okay.
just take.
Did
that
we,
if you have
we didn't
enough
get
for you.
that, there's only two copies.
Oh,
you
they're
have more?
coming the other way, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so for the
Last one.
proposed warrant
No, no, I
articles,
don't.
we have, obviously our election of officers, we have 2 school board seats that will be open. And we think that our moderator is open, so they're, looking at that. And I'm not sure about the treasurer, so we did ask them to look into those 2 items, so, that's pretty normal. We received a draft. And we made some changes to it because, the order, we would prefer to see our budget as warrant article 2. And then warrant article 3 will be the teacher's contract. Warrant article 4 will be the language that you have that says, you can have 1 meeting if the CBA fails to discuss cost items. 5 will be the Co-Brown tuition agreement. And then these may move, so I just wanna say these could be fluid, okay? Between 6 and 9, and you probably don't really care that much. But, so the building capital reserve, we'd like to kind of maintain that, obviously. The textbook capital reserve, since we're looking at ELA this year, that will be, worked with. The tuition reserve, we had talked about, you had good notes on that, on the tuition reserve, and what we were thinking of doing around it, so, but we do wanna keep it in there. And
Was
I
that the
think-
one we just talked about
Yeah,
before earlier
mhm.
too, of like kill the 6,000 and just,
For high school.
Right,
just put this in for the move-ins?
Correct,
Yep.
yeah.
and then the grounds was last, and I don't think we're maybe even gonna do anything with that.
How come special
Your
ed's,
special, I'm sorry?
special ed?
So, special education, when we looked, I would say the board is interested in putting in some funding. It's at 203 or 206 right now, and there's a thought process coming from the superintendent that basically, since we have a contract on the warrant, we should try to keep it slim. So we just need to have those conversations. But probably knock off grounds and put in special education.
That was to create a reserve fund for the special ed for the ins and outs. Is that what it is?
Special
Just to
ed.
add to it.
Add to it, yeah, there's already.
Yeah, just to
fund there.
add to it every year.
Yep.
So these are all funds that are already created with the school board to have the ability to expend from them. And so we talked last, do you wanna do this? Cause this is something that was really near and dear to you. Do you wanna do that?
Sure, yeah, we had talked last night just about a facilities capital reserve account so that we can plan, so whether the thing that we'll have to be detailed on is just the wording, right? For the warrant, but it'll just, as our space needs kind of move to the forefront of a lot of the conversations, we're looking to put some funds together so that we can kind of explore needs and then begin the next step, whichever that's gonna be. So potentially a warrant article to create a new capital reserve account for that.
And is the building one that exists limited to maintenance, like you couldn't use it for?
It's a building repair capital reserve fund, so the language is such that
Yeah, it doesn't
it would be
transfer.
an issue, and so that was kind of the conversation last night, like, the Paul Livingston had said, well, you could do something tied to increased enrollment, but I think, you know, anytime you start adding caveats to a warrant article, you get very limiting, so we asked for legal.
Did somebody go back to look at what the building repair, when it was established, what the wording was for that?
I think we did, I have done that, but I don't really, I think it really is repair. We can pull it though.
Uh-huh.
But
I think it'll be confusing to have two different building funds, so I
That's a
think
good point.
clarifying what the old one is so that you're clear on what the new one.
And to your point, if we could use the building repair capital reserve, but it's building repair maintenance and I don't know.
The other thing too is, yeah, most of our conversation really was around how can we word this, right? So that, and then how, you know, cause like the funds, right? Is it exploratory? Is it building, you know? So what are, how can it be how can we word it so it's all encompassing, I guess? So like,
One building reserve fund for all those things you just mentioned, expansion, repair, is that what you're thinking?
No,
No.
we got the
No.
building maintenance capital reserve fund with this.
currently.
for-
That-
Yes,
that-
that's
is
there.
inside, that's the,
School,
Repair.
right, and the grounds is for
We're
outside
proposing
school.
a
Correct.
facility expansion or whatever language the lawyers would to put money away in a savings account to address,
Like additional
Yes.
modules or
yeah, like,
modulars?
yeah, because
Something.
the modulars came up, but there's nothing funded for it.
Yeah.
We have kids on the stage and so forth, and there's now talk about maybe restructuring some of the rooms like we've done before, but that comes with a cost, so where do you get that money? So we would be doing things like, you know, for renovation or addition type stuff.
And in the space advisory committee, I think there's a lot of conversation about having like due diligence, you know what I mean? Making sure that everything has kind of been explored, so, and being as frugal as possible, right? So one of the thoughts on this was if we could kind of fund this a little bit and use it as needed, then it's not this giant ask that'll hit the town all at once, you know what I mean? So we're like, oh, if we can do bits by bit, whether it's like architectural stuff, you know, so I don't know. That was the idea, so it wasn't hitting the town in major ways.
That's strategic.
Yeah, so we're just trying to do, I mean, we know the tax bills came out, we all opened ours as well, and we understand that these are concerning. So if we could do this and maybe have a little bit of money banked away to handle things shorter term, it might be helpful.
I think what you call this and what you use for a description compared to the existing one is really, really important.
Yeah.
That's a good.
And I think the experience of this committee, if we go back to the warrant articles, for example, for the fire station or police station.
Sure.
If you're not specific about how you intend to use the money, no one will fund it. And
Exactly.
I personally am extremely supportive of school expansion, having a kindergartner. However, I mean, I guess I have to question the utility of a reserve fund if we're talking about potentially multi-million-dollar project. If we're putting, you know,
although,
a couple $100,000 away, that's a drop in the bucket and it's not going to do much to decrease the
Right,
tax
where you would
burden.
bond.
what-
So how are we gonna use that money if it's,
Yeah.
totally, yeah, I
all-
think being
all a
specific
discussion.
is
Yeah.
important.
Right, but I think that is the intention that this fund could be used to deal with like some of the, hey, we need to renovate the library and split the library to make a classroom size or something because we don't have the modules. It's more of like those type of
Exploring the
things
options.
then like the,
I think it just has to be
right,
explained.
yeah,
And that's where I would question whether the existing fund would actually allow
Right, the building
that.
capital reserve should
because-
cover that in.
So that's why it's with
It depends,
legal.
it's not just what the name of the fund is, it's whatever the original warrant article that created the fund. So depending on how that was worded.
I wanna see that project move forward as much or more than anyone, but I think what we've seen in the past and with this committee is that you can't put the cart before the horse. You've gotta have a clear plan that you can communicate if you want the taxpayers to fund it.
So I think in the, just to address that a little bit, in the past, I mean, we had some pretty well-developed plans.
For sure.
that
And it was hard
architects-
then.
Huh?
Yeah.
And it was hard then,
Yeah, yeah. So I do believe that this is really about talking about some of the short-term needs to reconfigure the space so that we can get those kids off of a stage and get them back into classrooms.
So I think maybe your goal has been achieved, because I think you put this on the list to get feedback from the committee, and I think you've gotten some feedback.
So just an active listener to this, you're basically talking about specificity and if it can be covered on the current one, and if it can't, be clear between the two.
And that's sort of the first piece that might not even be needed.
Right.
Okay.
All right,
Can I interject now?
yeah, public comments closed,
We're
but
talking
go ahead.
about warrants, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to know what happens to the 67,000 for the kiln.
Okay, so that's not a question for this committee,
Oh.
that's a question
Oh,
for the
oh.
school board, so we'll let
I'm
you take
sorry,
that
I'm
up.
not,
to
I'm
talk
not,
with you?
I'm not in alignment. She
No.
did say that to me, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That's okay.
Here at the end, I'll talk to you about that.
Sorry.
That's okay. All right, anything else for school? So we'll see you guys again on January 8th with the final school proposed and default. So I'm assuming then you will have had enough time between when you get the information from,
You guys will get a preview, yeah.
well, that we'll have, that there won't be any questions that night. That everything will be explained and the numbers will be accurate, we'll all be looking at the same thing, right?
We're just gonna give you one format and,
Yeah.
And we'll
Yeah, I
have
think it-
warrant
thank you.
articles then?
I'm sorry.
We'll have warrant articles that night?
Numbers,
Yeah.
numbers with warrant
Costing.
articles. Yes, we should.
So it's not, it's before the last day for petitions warrants, which typically they don't have very many, but technically you won't have the final warrant articles to the public.
Right, but
The operating
We'll
budget.
have, we should have their warrant
better
articles.
than last year.
They're advisory in nature.
Mhm.
We'll have the Co-Brown contract. And I don't know, have we covered that enough for you guys right now for the highlights with that?
All right, anything else? One last time? Good.
Nope, thank you, Sue.
Thanks, guys, for coming in, really
If you
appreciate it.
guys want the defaults, they're here. If you don't, I'll take them.
Everybody want 12?
I have one, yeah.
Or you mean the Tyler version?
Have them all.
Thanks, guys, we can appreciate
you
that
very
this
much,
is
Melissa
a
and
difficult,
Susan.
moving
Thank you.
Yeah,
target.
thanks for bearing with us while we navigated multiple.
I think with what you're coming out of last year with the business administration, you know, commend you on the job you're doing to hold to that.
I agree.
Under the 4% is really remarkable, so
Yep.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. All right, next item on the agenda, meeting minutes review from the December 11th meeting. Everybody have a chance to look at those? Any comments?
I had a suggestion, although not necessarily a correction. Number 5, review of the town budget draft. It lists the percentages before the revenue that kind of decreases things to under the 4%, and I think it would just be helpful, I think, if we move some of that information in line 42, like reiterated it up above so that people
Mm.
reading the notes
We get the whole
could
picture.
understand
Yeah.
that we weren't proposing, you know, a tax increase, double the tax cap.
It does look that way.
Yeah, so I didn't attend the meeting, but I did watch the video. And that was one thing that I flagged as well, like if you look at line 41, it says, looking at the bigger picture as they discuss the proposed warrant articles, the proposed net increase is 3.98%. And I think that's really not just looking at the bigger picture, but when you factor in revenues.
Yeah.
Right,
Right.
right, so I think that should just maybe be clarified for people reading.
Okay,
Is there a way to
so where it
pick that
says
up?
on 32, it says this will be offset by a reduction in warrant articles. Then if we take factoring in revenues, the proposed warrant articles and operating budget net increase is 3.98%. Does that work?
Yeah.
Yep, okay. Okay, so from line 41, starting with looking, it will be that half of line 41 and line 42 will be struck from there, but we will move up to line 32, the line that says factoring in revenues as they discuss the proposed warrant articles and operating budget increases 3.98%. Cool?
Yes.
Anything else on the minutes?
Yeah, I mean, we had specific requests, and I wanna make sure they make it into the minutes here, because we don't seem to be getting the requests from the rec. So we've asked for a budget. We specifically asked again for a budget, and that's not reflected here. I know it's the fourth time, but that's why I want it in the
I think
minutes.
that's not from rec, it's from the bookkeeper we're requesting.
Well, we're
correct?
asking the people who came.
We asked
You-
Ellen specifically,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
For,
It's not the budget though, it's the in and out of.
it was
revenue.
both. I want a budget
Yeah.
for what they're gonna spend this coming year.
Yeah.
And we want both the in and outs for the last 3 years, which she
Yeah.
told us
It's-
many meetings ago, we
yeah.
were gonna get that. And the other request was for a copy of the community needs assessment or survey that they had conducted.
Mhm.
And I, again, want those in the minutes, so it's very clear that
I
we
wonder-
have asked and been told that we
Yeah, I
would
got that
receive
message,
them
Yeah,
for,
yeah, I'll
many
follow,
meetings.
follow up on that too, yeah.
So you want the addition formally to the minutes?
yes.
Yeah.
And so,
That's for this, that should be in this meeting.
We can
Like any
discuss
other
it in
business.
new
No, we
business
did
right
it
here
in
and
that
we'll go in
meeting.
next week's minutes.
So it wasn't captured in these minutes.
Correct.
that's,
trying to-
it was discussed.
It was
was.
discussed, I want it in the minutes, because I just want to be able to say, we asked this week, and
Yeah.
it needs to be reflected in these minutes that we're requesting these.
So I think after line 47, we can ask for the addition of, with regards to the recreation budget,
The revolving fund specifically.
recreation revolving fund. The committee has asked for one
Copy of the budget,
copy of budget, two,
the financial, we said ins and outs,
Counting.
accounting for the last 3 years,
financial accounting for last 3 years.
yes. And then the community assessment, or, let me find the exact. It's
Was it the community needs assessment?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I had it written here specifically.
And you want the results of the,
The results of that,
Yeah.
because I think it would, hoping there might be something about the beach in there. Sorry, I don't have the specific name of that,
Does community needs assessment cover it?
yes.
I think so.
Okay, so after line 47, a new paragraph that says,
with regards to the rec department revolving fund, the committee has requested, 1, a copy of the budget, 2, financial accounting for the last 3 years, and 3, community needs assessment results.
You know what, I think that's online.
I think Karen looked for it online and could
And I
not
couldn't
find
find
it.
it, and that's why Ellen said she'd give us a copy of it for our next meeting. Is that the results?
Let me click through.
Because
Click here to access our survey.
Right,
Let me
to
see if it
access
really
the
is.
survey.
Okay.
But it didn't have the results, you
Yeah,
don't.
It
okay.
is. No, and then you get there and you can't do it anymore, so anyway, it's not there.
Okay,
Frustrating.
anybody have anything else on the minutes for December 11th?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes with the changes that were noted.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Abstain, I wasn't here.
Abstain. All right, committee reports, CIP. We're done,
We're done.
we're done. School facilities,
No new updates, we're meeting in early January, I believe it's the 5th. Yep, we're meeting on January 5th.
okay, town,
Facilities Committee met this evening, just before this meeting, and we discussed creating a warrant for a design build to move the police station to the fire station. And we also talked about the strategy of how to do that and how to get a correct number. We are spreading out and contacting 3 different engineering firms, one of which built the fire station, to see if they can give us next steps and cost so that we could get a bond together, because it's not getting any cheaper to build this. And what's a reasonable amount to ask on a warrant article to get this rolling?
Is this moving beyond the facilities, like feasibility,
Yeah,
just actually doing the engineering or
we've
whatever?
actually, well, at least a conceptual. Yeah, do a conceptual design and
so
Yeah.
beyond,
so that we could go
beyond the feasibility.
beyond the needs and beyond feasibility.
So is
We've
40,000
done
still
those,
the right number?
I don't think so. So that's why
Okay.
we're reaching out to, I think, Ricci, who built the fire station, Turner Corporation, and Gowan, which were recommended, to start the process and try to get an accurate figure of what it would cost to come up with a conceptual. And we just don't know at the moment.
Is there any way you can add, so I was just looking at similar towns, so
Yeah, by
Walpole,
all
New
means.
Hampshire, similar. In 2024, they redid their police station or it was completed in 2024. And that was with Michael Petrovic Architecture.
Petrovic?
Yeah.
Yeah, cause we wanna compare apples to apples, so we develop some questions, and one of which is, how many police stations
Yeah.
have you designed? Because, they may have done a lot of municipal buildings, but we want it to be specific, cost-effective, and sustainable.
So, yeah, Walpole, New Hampshire, similar in population and police,
Yep,
police
and-
force size.
And Northfield also has this, Corporal Alvarez from the police department has also done some research on this, so we're trying to put everything together. We're gonna meet again on December 30th. To put all this information together, come up with the correct wording, have legal probably take a look at it, so that we would have it ready on January 5th. For a select board meeting.
So that will impact the cap calculation for the town.
Well, right now, we have 40,000 plugged in there.
Yeah, but if
Yeah.
you're saying
Yeah, but
it's likely to go up, then that's gonna
well,
impact.
I don't know if it's likely to go up,
Okay.
honestly. I mean, I'm hopeful, but maybe we've done so much of the work.
The idea, or discussion there, I think that precipitated not doing feasibility is that we already know the building was.
We know where we want
designed,
it.
We know where we
Yeah.
want it, why look at other areas?
Okay,
That building.
got it.
you
So it's
know,
not feasibility.
Right, we're
design,
beyond
but We're
that.
assuming
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
place we
I
want to go.
like that
Okay.
better, just cause it's
Yeah.
like, your only risk is like the small risk that the engineering doesn't work.
Right.
But that risk should be tiny.
Tiny, exactly.
Exactly.
So we really felt we could leap ahead with that, it'd be more cost effective, get the show on the road.
Great,
Yeah.
fantastic.
That was kind of fun.
Okay.
Now you don't need to.
New business, does anybody have anything they want to bring up as new business?
I do.
Okay.
I would just like to mention the fair funding request, was it? I'm not sure how to put it, that came before us, it's come before the select board, and I believe it's gone to the school board as well. We talked about it at select board and we thought we all kind of like the idea. I've actually attended a couple of fair funding meetings and they're very dense with factual information, especially right now where we're just got our property taxes. And I think the school board would be the most appropriate person to host this or have a place to do fair funding and hopefully before the elections so people can hear about some of the options for lowering our property taxes. But I'd like to encourage us to endorse that as well. I don't know if everybody had a chance to look over the literature. I've been really impressed with their presentations.
I'm really familiar with them as well, and I was curious as to why, like, I don't know who puts the warrant article forward, but I was curious as to why does it have to be a warrant article? Why doesn't the school and the town just say, yeah, we're gonna do
Yeah,
this?
it wasn't a warrant article, that was a confusion at the select board too. Apparently it was just a petition. But it came
It was an
across like it
ask.
was a warrant, it's just
got
an
it,
ask,
okay.
and we did the same thing, we went, why is this a warrant?
Okay,
So I thought it didn't seem like the appropriate time to ask them, but maybe I'll ask Susan if they've had a chance to look at it yet. But either way, I feel like if the select board and the budget committee and the school board all encourages taxpayers to get some information, and you know, what can we do about these situations that we're in, it might be very helpful.
I agree. I support that 100%.
So I know in the past, it didn't come before the board, but I think when I was still on the board, talked to somebody about it, and I said, why don't they just, anybody can reserve the school cafeteria or the gym to do a presentation, like, but it has to be like sponsored, it has to be
Right, they're quite fussy that
invited by
yeah,
the
it's quite
school.
fussy that it can't
It
be
can't
any
just-
partisan group or any special interest group. You know, it's done sometime, I think in Dover, I think it was actually the select board that sponsored it. And I attended in Northwood as well, and it was the school board. Maybe it was the other way around. At any rate, yeah, they're very particular that it's not some special interest group, that it's a town sponsored invitation.
So they have to be like invited by
They have
one
to
of
be
the
invited
bodies,
by
it
one
can't
of the
just be,
boards or
yeah.
Yeah.
So that might be why somebody is petitioning because they want it to happen, but
Yeah.
they won't just come.
Exactly. And then it would be, I don't think there's nothing that any of us have to do. It would just, you know, there just needs to say, yes, we'd like you to present to us. And then I feel like probably more taxpayers would also be likely to come out and be educated, and I feel like a lot of people would like to have more
It's
education
gonna need a
about this.
lot of promotion to get people to come.
But people are saying they want information.
Yep.
Here's a way to.
Anything else for new business? Okay, just meeting reminders, we are winding down, believe it or not, we're nearing the finish line, we've got 5 meetings left. January 6th, we've got the final town proposed and default budget. January 8th, so that's a Tuesday, so we're gonna get into these Tuesday, Thursday meetings. January 8th, final school proposed and default. January 15th is public hearings for town and school budget. We hope we'll have a big turnout of people to attend those public hearings, because it really is the opportunity for voters to ask questions, dive into the details, and understand what's in the budget, what they're being asked to vote for.
Tuesday, January 20th will be our meeting for final budget recommendations. And then Thursday, the 22nd is the snow date for that.
And the public hearing is at the same time, or is it early?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Yep. So, 5 meetings left.
And the public
Okay.
hearings are taking place for the town here,
Yeah,
correct, in this building.
well, they're both here, because it's the same night. Yeah. We'll get up and move. All right, good.
Awesome.
Unless there's anything else, I'll take a motion.
I motion to adjourn.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
I
Aye.
Thank you.